Welcome to Mod My Honda Civic Si, presented by eBay Motors. Right off the top here, let me say a quick thank you to eBay Motors who have come back to sponsor another one of these quick builds, these Mod My Ride series. We really love working with eBay, and their eBay Motors My Garage feature is a really cool one where you can input your car and find parts that are guaranteed to fit your car really quickly and easily. We'll show you a bunch more of that as this series progresses, but thank you very much eBay Motors for coming back. And as far as this car goes, well, who doesn't love an 8th gen Honda Civic Si sedan? I think it's one of the cleanest, best looking SIs ever built. I am a big fan of this chassis. This one belongs to our buddy Cavill from Make It Shine Detailing. He's local here and he's helped us out a ton on our project cars over the years with everything from like tinting the windows in my Lexus to polishing paint on our 5-day track build Civic and on and on. He's a really generous guy, and it's really nice, I think, for us to be able to say thank you to him by taking what is basically his daily driver and making it a little bit cooler. Cavill bought this car from his dad. He got a smoking deal on it, as anyone would who buys a car from their dad. He paid about 4,500 Canadian or 3,500 US for it, but you can buy these cars remarkably cheap. We looked quickly online and they seem to go for like between 4 and 6 grand, which is a really amazing amount of performance. I think it's a hell of a bargain compared to the way car prices are just going through the roof right now. So if you guys are looking for a fun car to drive, go get yourself an 8th gen Si. And there you have it, our hybrid racing intake system installed. And that was one of the more complex intakes I've installed in a long time, but the upside is there are big payoffs with it. Most notably is the fact that it is the most powerful large tube intake on the market for this car. And it's worth noting too that it has an air bypass built into this MAF housing here, which prevents you from hydro locking the motor. So I know some guys worry about having the air filter down here so low and what would happen if I drove through a puddle. Well, hybrid racing has cured that worry by having this air bypass here, so you literally cannot hydro lock the motor. However, you do need a specific tune to run this. So you're not meant to run this on the factory MAF with the stock calibration. You're meant to run it with, say, like a Honda Flash Pro, which Cavill's car already has.
We are now moving on to the exhaust system here, and that means installing a catback exhaust. And if you guys know where we're from, which is the Toronto, Canada area, you will know that we deal with a lot of rust, and this car is no exception. The nuts that hold the catback exhaust system onto the Cat are gone. They have just like completely rotted out. There's nothing left of them. I bet you if I give this, you can see there's a little bit of movement here where it's rotted out. This is gonna pose a problem for us when we go to bolt on the new system. So we're gonna look at that. Thankfully, the rest of the system is not that bad. I am bringing out the serious equipment for this, and the game plan is to heat the hell out of what's remaining of the bolt here, get it hot enough to the point where I'm gonna grab an extractor bit, throw it on there, and try to twist it off. Normally I would cut these off with a Sawzall, however, our Sawzall is MIA, so we're gonna have to try this first.
Oh, that sounds good.
Might be doing the job. It's disintegrated, see?
Oh, wow.
That, I'll show you what, this is what's left of it right here. Let me show you this. That right there is the remnants of a nut. Welcome to a rust belt stuff. My favorite kind of job here. This is so much fun. Whatever's left, it's coming off. So thank goodness. Now we'll see if we can separate these two pipes. Thankfully, the bolt that is in the exhaust system here isn't as rusty, so it looks like it is moving, which means we will be able to separate this. Hallelujah! An often overlooked tool in the tool arsenal is this, which is a hanger removal tool. And you can see, usually you'd be struggling to try to get this off here, but with this tool, I come in, pull that off, and would you look at that, as simple as that. And of course, this can be found on eBay as well. I think this is not a moment too soon in terms of us replacing the exhaust system, because you can see this muffler is rusting at the seams, or has rusted out at the seams. So I think we caught this right at the perfect time here. Oh, a little more wiggling, and whew. Wowzer. There it is. Oh, okay, so now I'm sure you guys are wondering, how on earth are we going to use these studs? Because you can see they are just completely ruined. So now that I've got that nice and hot, let's see if I can pop this thing out. There it goes. Nice. Success! So you can see we've just got one left there, and after that one's out, we're gonna be able to just run a nut and bolt through there, which is a more conventional way. It's not necessarily the OEM way, but it's certainly gonna work here. And here is our Yonaka Motorsports exhaust system. We absolutely love this exhaust. You've probably seen this brand used in different videos, and that is because it is the ultimate street exhaust. It doesn't have any drone. It just has a nice, deep, quiet tone. So you know when you're driving down the street and when you're ripping some tech, you can certainly hear it, but otherwise it's perfect. It's not gonna wake your neighbors. It is fully stainless steel, 2.5 inch. It's got a nice resonator up here again, which helps quiet it down, a full-size muffler as well with this nice subtle tip. So it's like a very OEM plus system. And we bought it on eBay for $444 Canadian, or 352 US dollars. And really what I want to point out here is one of the really neat features on eBay is they have a vehicle fitment guarantee. So you know when you're buying this exhaust that this is going to bolt up, no questions asked, because they've already done all the research for you.
The exhaust system complete, it is time to move on to adding some style to this car. And as I mentioned earlier, the SI is a great looking car, but I find it does have a bit of a weak chin, kind of like me. It needs a beard, PT. And for that, we are going with this Honda Factory Performance style front lip, which of course we sourced from eBay. We find eBay is just like the ultimate source for affordable lip kits and other types of aero add-ons. This lip only costs us about $120, and of course we did have to get it paint matched. Thank you very much, John, at ABM Auto Center in Toronto for doing that for us. It looks really good. It should fit up here really well, but there's only one way to find out. So let's try bolting this sucker on there. Just putting the last screw in here, which impressively were included with this kit. Nice quality hardware, actually. Which goes to show the days of like poor reproduction front lips and stuff, I think they're just behind us, because with 3D scanning and everything and modern, manufacturing techniques, this fits beautifully. It fits really well. I think we're good to go on that front lip, PT. How about you?
I'm liking it, man. It looks real good.
As you can see out back here, this car has the factory SI wing on it, which is very subtle. I think nice on a street car, but we thought, you know what? This car is going to go to the track occasionally, so let's give it a bit more wing game with this Mugen style rear wing. And I do call it style because this is not a real Mugen wing. It did come with end plates that said Mugen on it, and we blacked it out because it's just wrong to pretend it's real. This costs like 80 bucks on eBay, which is kind of remarkable considering a real one costs more than 10 times that much. Well, what do you think, everyone? I actually like it. I think it looks really cool. Definitely gives the car more visual presence from the rear end, and there are some challenges though. It does bolt into a couple of holes on the ends, and we can certainly use some 3M tape to hold it in elsewhere, like this little add-on guy at the back here. But we do have some holes in the trunk lid where the factory spoiler was held down that we can't really do anything about. At least not without like welding them up and painting the trunk lid, which we just don't have time for. We're trying to get this thing built in 2 days, so.
And we also don't want to wreck his trunk in case he doesn't like this, right?
Of course, yeah. So what we're gonna do is bolt it up in a way where it's completely non-destructive, and he can revert to the old spoiler if he prefers that one. To solve the problem of our exposed holes here, I've decided we're gonna use some plugs for them. I think it's kind of the best way to do this in a non-destructive way, as we mentioned before. I just picked up some paint match aerosol, sprayed these plastic plugs, and now I'm gonna put them in. But you will see I did put a bit of foam over the holes, so when these guys go down, it'll protect the water from running inside still, because I think that's a common problem that can happen. Slight change of plans here. What I realized is when you push one of these grommets down in, the gap between the actual last little piece of plastic that seals it and this is far greater than the gap here. So what you have now is a grommet that sits up and just like wiggles around. So unfortunately that's not gonna work. What I am doing is cutting the piece of this whole piece off of it. And now what I'm gonna do is create a little ring of 3M tape, and we should be able to like glue this down here. You can see I've already done one here and it's holding on pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with it. We just have to reproduce this 2 more times. I've pulled out the 3M tape that I've got kicking around here, and using a punch and a hammer to create what I need to have here. And so there it is. Now I'm gonna come in once again with a smaller hole punch like that, and you can see I now have somewhat what I need here. Now for everyone's favorite part of using 3M tape, trying to peel the backing off of it. Well, and in this case, it's pretty much impossible. You can see the struggle that I have because this thing's so flimsy and I've cut such a small piece out here. I think I'm gonna have a better chance of peeling the red off here. There we go, with it stuck to the trunk. So there it is. And now I'm gonna come in with my little grommet, push down on it, and flush. All right, so we got the wing mounted up. We've got the plugs in place as well. Now, we were hoping that this would cover enough of this hole here that is a pass-through for the light on the OEM spoiler, but it doesn't. So again, back to the drawing board. I found this like circular metal disc with a piece of backing on it that's gonna be just flush enough. I'm gonna put on here. It's a bunch of cover up going on, but you know what? I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna look good, as you can see, just like that. It's gonna look better with that done than anything else. And now we can mount this up here. And there is our final product. That is how you install a wing that is non-destructive on a Civic Si that has all those holes, and it looks good from about where you guys, or where Dave's standing right now. But otherwise, like when you get up close, you can see the plugs. But honestly, I still think it changes the look tremendously. It may be worth it. Cavill may like it. Before we fire this thing up and give you that exhaust sound, we had to have Nick from Tuning by Nick log in and through the Honda Flash Pro,
load a proper map in to start this, because as Dave mentioned, that hybrid racing intake does not use the mass airflow sensor, it uses a map-based system. So you needed to do a little bit of tuning, and he actually offers this as a service for a lot of people. So if you're in the market for getting a tune done and you want to make sure that your car is like ready, it's almost a great like pre-check setup for him to do that before you go to the dyno. You get there, you load it up, and then the car's not running right, or you got problems, and then it's a waste of a dyno session. So it's a really great service that he offers. He does it remotely, so you don't have to go anywhere, and you can get your car fired up and know everything's good to go. All right, let's fire this thing up. Ooh, look at that, running like a champ. So I'm just gonna let this thing warm up just a little bit, and then we'll give you some exhaust revs.
Man, this thing is sounding good, and it is looking a lot better too. I love the front lip and the spoiler on the back. It's really starting to have some more presence to it. And in the next episode, we're gonna add even more with wheels and tires and coilovers. And after that, we've got a third bonus episode that you're gonna have to stick around to see, because it's gonna knock your socks off. And speaking of which, all of the parts in this entire build series, you can find direct eBay links to in the description below. So go check those out. And thank you very much, eBay, for making this whole build series possible. So thanks again for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.